Derby County's transfer forum suggests that agreements have been made for 5 players. Now, it is expected that these players are to be the likes of Weimann, Danny Batth, maybe the likes of Cody Drameh and Dion, Sanderson, and maybe even Kamil, Conteh. Now, it has been reported over the course of recent weeks, especially in regards to that of Danny Batth and Weimann, that deals to Derby County are everything set to be done and just haven't been announced yet. Now, obviously, when we look at these signings, I know a lot of people are going to talk about the age of Weimann and Batth and go, well, they're in their 30s, they're coming towards the end of their career, but are certainly players, in my opinion, that can have an impact heading into this new season. Now, Kamil, Conteh is a young prospect with a little bit of a shady injury history, but hopefully he can find himself in full fitness for Derby County. Dion Sanderson has worked with John Eustace before and I think could be really good for Derby County. And Cody Drameh, we know, is a fullback, very versatile and could play for Derby as well. Now, obviously, when we're looking into these signings, there's a lot of conversations that need to be had. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets. Now, obviously, these aren't going to be the only signings Derby make. I've said across the course of the transfer window so far that Derby County needs to do a lot more business than just 5 players. We need a couple of strikers, we need a fair few midfielders, and we also need better wingers. Now, Weimann certainly adds to that depth in the forward areas. Danny Batth adds to the depth in the central defensive areas, whereas Conteh adds in that sort of defensive midfield area. Sanderson, again, like Danny Batth, adds to the centre-back spot, whereas Drameh also adds that depth in defensive areas, both right back and left back. Now, there has been conversations over the course of recent weeks and months about the likes of Kane Wilson, who obviously had a contract extension triggered at the end of last season, but ultimately it looks at the moment that no deal is yet to be agreed. Now, as I've spoken about time and time again, I think in regards to Kane Wilson, we don't have to rush it because at the end of the day, he's got a contract till the end of this season and we can obviously make a deal happen as the season goes on. And I think the important thing in regards to Kane Wilson is the fact that I think it's probably a caution side of things where he's not sort of signed a deal yet, because he doesn't want to be playing in a relegation threatened team year after year at Derby County. He wants to be battling at the top end of the Championship, maybe getting an opportunity to play in the Premier League. And what he needs to see from Derby County this season is the ability for that to potentially happen in the near future. And I personally do believe that we are in a position where that could happen. I do believe that obviously investment needs to happen, but obviously at the moment it has not happened and we have to deal with what we've got. Now, if we look at the squad that Derby County had last year, I always said from the start of the year it was good enough to stay in the division. I always thought it was good enough to stay in the division. I thought the depth was a little bit light. I thought January was a bit of a poor window, but I always said that the squad, like the starting 11, say 15 players, were good enough to stay in the division. Now, heading into this season, we need to sort of find that again. We need to find players that are good enough to keep us up and give us a better challenge at the top half. Now, we saw under John Eustace that he was able to essentially double the points tally that Paul Warren picked up earlier on in the season. And for me, I think if you gave John Eustace that side for 12 months, I don't think we're worrying about going down at all, in my opinion. Now, obviously, everybody can hold their opinions on that as well, and that is completely fine. But for me, I think John Eustace can get the most out of a bad group. Now, I'm not saying that we have a bad group right now. We're obviously still sort of learning what the group is going to be. But at the moment, if we do bring in Weimann and Danny Batth, I think that's 2 very, very smart signings. Weimann, for one, last season got more goal contributions for Blackburn Rovers in 15 starts and 30 appearances. So 15 starts, 15 off the bench, than any player other than Jerry Yates for Derby County, which is absolutely ridiculous. If he can have that input for Derby County, brilliant. Danny Batth played, I think it was 37, 38 games. I think he started about 34 of them. Unbelievable season from him at the age he is as well, which is obviously massively important heading into sort of this season. It's having experience, it's having quality, it's having that depth as well that we didn't have last year, especially in regards to injuries. When we lost Kane Wilson in the Andi, we didn't have a right back. We ended up playing Langas in sort of a right centre-back position. We played Mendes Lang at right wing-back, which ultimately ain't his position. And I think at some points during last season, we had Nelson at right back, which ultimately for me was never going to work for Derby. So it's important we have that depth. And that's where, in my opinion, someone like Cody Drameh comes in. If we bring back Forsyth, we've got then four players who can play left back in Drameh, in Fozzie, in Elder and Osborne. You look then at the right back position, you've got Nyambi, you've got Wilson, you've got Drameh. Langas can play out there. We've seen him do it, although probably not what you'd want to happen. If you bring in Sanderson, you could then have Danny Batth, Matt Clark, Curtis Nelson, Sondre Langas, obviously then Sanderson and Batth. What's that, 5 very good centre-back options, which gives you the opportunity to play a 3, gives you the opportunity to play a 2 as well, if that's what you choose to do. And that's what I think is important about these deals. I know a lot of people look at them and go, well, these aren't very inspiring. But in my opinion, you don't necessarily need the inspiring deals now. You need players that you know what they're going to do. And that's what I think Derby failed with last season. I don't think we brought in players where you knew what they'd do. Caden Jackson, as much as he was good for Ipswich, our system is very different to Ipswich, and it was sort of an unknown. Ben Osborne, we know he'd been very good at Sheffield United, but obviously had his problems with injuries and training and things like that. And then you look at some of the other players we brought in. Jerry Yates, second half of the season at Swansea before he came to us, wasn't sort of given the opportunity. You look at some of the other players in the squad as well, and I'm not saying Derby County made bad moves last summer. I just think in a sense of knowing what you're getting and making sure you've got a quality squad instead of just a quality 11, I don't think Derby County did a good job of that last season. Now, obviously, there will have been a lot of learning from that with the recruitment team, and obviously with bringing in John Eustace as well. It completely changes the sort of concept of how the squad's going to look, the way the squad's going to play and things like that. And that's obviously the important thing heading into 2025-2026. Now, obviously, at the moment, a lot of work needs to be done. If these deals are set to be true, if these deals are real, then Derby County will be in a fairly decent position in the centre-back area. They'll be in a decent but not great position in regards to the wingers. If you bring in Andreas Weimann, if you then bring in Kamil Conteh as well, you sort of put that midfield, you get 4 players who can play there now. And obviously if Thompson renews his contract as well, that'll obviously be very, very important for the club. Now, obviously, you can have your say down in the comments. If you have not done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. There's obviously a lot to do for Derby, and we're going to cover it all on this YouTube channel. This is your one-stop shop for Derby County news, rumours, and everything above all when it comes to investment, takeovers, and everything that could potentially happen. So if you haven't done so already, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Do you want to win yourself the brand new Derby County 2025-26 home shirt? Well, I'm here to give you an opportunity to do that. There will be a link down in the description where you can head on over to raffle.com to join a raffle where you can win the Derby County home shirt. Ticket prices start at just £1 with a range of different discounts available. You can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets, get 10 free, and 15 tickets to get 15 free. The intention with this is to give you guys the opportunity to win a Derby County shirt for less than the valued cost in the shop. So if you haven't done so already, head on down to the description, click on the link in the description, which will take you over to raffle.com, create yourself an account, answer the question, and join this raffle. The winner will be announced on August 1st at 6 p.m. as the transfer window begins to draw to a close. So if you haven't done so already, head on over there and get your tickets.